Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. We're back in Fancy Five Towns. Fancy Woodmere. Avi Hirsch is not across the street. He took his garbage out earlier, I guess. Interesting parsha this week. Nothing kind of really screams out. First few parshas of Devarim is kind of a big musser schmoose to the people going to Eretz Yisrael. But this week's parsha, very interesting piece, talks about benching. And a couple years ago, my good friend Danto asked his father had a question. Why do we bench even? Hazanas, ours on Mazon. We're in Chutzlaretz perhaps, as I am now. Boni Yerushalayim, we're building Yerushalayim now. Hazan Esakol. It's the bracha that Moshe did. Moshe was misaken with a mun. There's no mun. Yeshua made the next bracha, ala oretz. So why are we benching? And so in the Ramad Valley, that even Chutz La'aretz, if you're mechaven, if you think about how special the food is from Hashem, it's ki'ilu, it's like you're having the kedusha. You're pulling out the kedusha because the shefa comes from Yerushalayim, Eretz Yisrael, throughout the whole world. So if you think about it, you're reconnecting and you appreciate the food that Hashem gave you. It's kind of like you have this connection to Eretz Yisrael, and the food you're eating is like it came from Eretz Yisrael. And Sfas Emes says something very similar to these pieces, is that there's a real connection to it. It's not just the mun happened thousands of years ago. The essence of the mun is happening now. And a person understands that, wow, the midbar, the mun, what a miracle that was. Today, I'm going to Costco, going to Target, going to Walmart for food. No, it's the same miracle. The ever Parnasa, today, 2021, the same miracles every day we have Parnasa is just like getting the mun. So you make the bracha that Moshe was talking on the mun, Aretz Al Mazon, Eretz Yisrael. It's still happening today. The Nisim and the Shefa are still happening today. And Sfas Emes in Taf Reish Nun Beis has a very interesting piece about this, is that it's easy to remember Hashem when you're missing something. When you're missing something, Parnasa, we need this, we need refuah. When you have stuff, then you forget. You really forget that it's all from Hashem. That's bitachon, ace, shalva. That's real bitachon. When I can kind of tie in all the things that I do have to Kadosh Baruch Hu, that's why some of the tachachos in Devarim is you'll forget Hashem, Ram Levavo. Easy to forget Hashem when you have things good for you, and that's ikar bitachon, is to remember when things are going well for you. This kind of ties back with the beginning of the parsha. Marshem Sholem, Marshem Sholem, what Hashem want from you? And old Mefarshim, Yiras Hashem, Moshe says it's small, it's not small, is it small? All Mefarshim go back and forth on this. And the Gemara talks about that Ma Hashem is Mea, 100. And we know the Gemara talks about in Brachas is that it's a mitzvah, Chiv Adam, Levarach Mea Brachas Kol Yom, 100 brachas a day. So why is that? Mea, why 100? What's the importance of all these brachas? What's the purpose of this? About a few weeks ago, I was in Woodmere, and my brother-in-law's mom, Nacham Aluin, on Shabbos, making a bracha, and she's turning pages in a book. And she looks at the book and she goes, 25. Well, 100 brachas a day, I can't write them down, so I have a book, and every time I make a bracha, I turn the page. So this way I know I get to 100 brachas a day. And it didn't occur to me what 100 brachas, the Gemara says it, and this week, literally Sunday, maybe much of Shabbos, I saw in the Sfas Emes who really talks about the purpose of 100 brachas. I really had no idea. I know David, there's a plague, and David makes 100 brachas, the plague stops. What's 100 brachas? And the Sfas Emes says, this is the cornerstone of Yiras Shamayim. If before you take pleasure in the world, you do something in the world, brachas nena, brachas mitzvahs, you think about Hashem just for a second or two, this ties all your actions to Hashem. That's Yiras Hashem. Tying everything you do to Yiras Hashem. Whatever you do, if you can stop a second and think about Hashem is right there, then you're going to act differently. Halavai, when people are in front of us, we act differently. Halavai, we should always have this fear of Hashem. Last night on the plane, I had my sefer with me, and usually I learn a little bit on the plane. Lila Nishmas, my friend Alan. And after a half hour, 20 minutes, whatever, I'm up to the daf. I finish the parsha. I put it down and I put the movie on or something. So last night I'm on the plane. I'm learning Sfas Emes. I'm up to literally, a piece about benching, and I'm ready to put it down. I put on Veep on the screen. All of a sudden, some Satmar dude sits next to me. I'm like, oh, Sfas Emes. So I'm not gonna. I have to learn it. This Chassidish guy next to me. I go, okay, but yes, Sfas Emes, sure. So I kind of delayed the movie and the show, and I learned a little bit more. So the point is, we have people around us. We act differently. We don't want to do things that aren't 100%. Halvai, we should have Yiras Hashem. But the point is, 100 brachos. We tie in all the mitzvos to Hashem, which is why we have a certain time frame after we eat to bench. Why is that? Because after 72 minutes, it's digested. I forget about it. If you don't really think about before I eat something that I have to thank Hashem and I'll make a bracha, it's not on my mind. You see kids popping stuff in their mouth. Even brachas, people say just quickly without thinking. Halavai, if you don't say a bracha, definitely not think about Hashem, which is why we need these milestones. The Navi says, put up tzionim, put up milestones to remember we'll be back to Eretz Yisrael. Put up milestones. And the truth is we have reminders every day. We have Shema, remind Hashem. Tefillin, remind about Tzias Mitzrayim. Tzitzis, remind about the mitzvos. Kippah. So all these pieces are really reminders. Unfortunately, we don't take a second or two before we make brachos to think about Hashem that created everything. And that's the purpose of 100 brachos. If you now are going to think about Hashem 100 times a day, it's a different day. You think about tzedakah each day, it's a different day. You think about Hashem 100 times, Mitzrayim, and we need these brachos. And if you are serious enough and you write down and you're really up to how many brachos you made a certain day, then your day is different because you really think about Hashem the whole day. Shabbat Shalom.